What's up, YouTube? Capital G. Here is your body ready to pendulum summon twice in a single turn because this new pendulum support card that just got revealed coming out of the 20th anniversary duelist box allows you to do exactly that. This is Pendulum of Souls, and I'm like 99.9% certain that this is actually a reference to Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V. If you've never seen the anime, especially in the first couple of seasons, right before Yu-Gi-Oh! Was going to pendulum summon, he would basically kind of have this catchphrase where he would say, "Swing, pendulum of my souls," and it would show the pendulum swinging back and forth like really slowly, and it was kind of cinematic and cool, but it was one of his many catchphrases in the anime. Anyways, Pendulum Souls is a continuous spell card. It says the first effect is a hard once per turn, and the first effect reads you can target 2 cards in your pendulum zones. That's the cost. It says increase or reduce each of their pendulum scales by 1, and it's a minimum of 1. So I guess you have to target 2, but you only technically have to adjust one of them. So, scale manipulation seems pretty good. Effect number 2, each time your pendulum monster or monsters is pendulum summoned, place 1 counter on this card. Effect number 3, pendulum summon monsters on the field gain 300 attack for each of the counters, each of those counters on this card. Effect number 4, you can remove 3 of those counters from this card. You can conduct 1 pendulum summon during your main phase. In addition to your pendulum summon, you can only gain this effect once per turn. So if you get 15 counters or 6 counters or something like that on this card, you can't use that effect multiple times. You only get a max of 1 additional pendulum summon, and obviously that is an incredibly powerful effect potentially. Now, some people are going to look at this card, they're going to see that 4th effect and say, okay, Cap, it's kind of cool that you can pendulum summon twice using this card, but that definitely is one that's going to take a few turns. But you have to understand, number one, this card, because it has pendulum in the name, it is technically searchable from Duelist Alliance, so this is not a card that you have to hard draw. Number 2, I do understand that there is Zephyr that kind of gave Zephyr the ability to do that, but that's a card that you could really only play in Zephyr, like Zephyr variants. This is a card that you can use in any pendulum deck, anything from Metaphors or, Magispector, some of those other pendulum decks, because I know everybody will probably say, Cap, you can't really run this card in Pendulum Editions, and maybe that's true, but you have to understand, not every single pendulum based deck is like super aggressive and can make the super strong turn 1 boards like Pendulum Magicians. Magispectors, we know that they want to control the opponent by using the trap card, so Magispectors might want to use this card because it gives them the ability to pendulum summon multiple times, and when you can pendulum summon your guys and then go for extra deck plays and then put them right back on the field, then you have the fodder for your trap card, so that can actually be pretty nice. Also, I like the fact that the monsters all get a nice little stat boost, 300 attack for every counter, which means the second time you're going to pendulum summon, all your pendulum summon monsters now have 600 plus attack, and that can be the difference between getting an OTK and not getting an OTK when you're talking about maybe 2 or 3 monsters having it. I mean, now you're talking about like 1800 more damage. I think that this card is pretty neat. I mean, the fact that it's searchable from Duelist Alliance is what I think makes this card even noteworthy. But again, if you're playing a pendulum deck, Dynomist would be like another prime example. Dynomist tribute cards a lot. Getting an extra pendulum summon seems pretty damn good, especially if you're going to be going into some of those extra deck monsters, or you're going to be using I can't remember, I think it's Dynomist Howling. That's the card that has the evac device built into it, but it does cost you a monster. If you want to use that during your turn, you're going to be losing that Dynomist monster, but hey, if you get a second pendulum summon, you can put that monster right back on the board. Overall, this is a neat card. Will it be used at the highest level for pendulum competition? Probably not, because I think the best pendulum deck right now from a competitive standpoint is Pendulum Magicians. But again, Pendulum Magicians is a deck that can put 2, 3, 4 negates on board in the first turn. Most Yu-Gi-Oh decks that are pendulum based can't do that, so this can still be kind of a fun card, and it's kind of nice that other pendulum decks finally have the ability to pendulum summon a couple of times in a turn. So whatever you guys think of Pendulum of Souls, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.